If there's one thing I hate about recording, it's always trying to get that perfect intro sorted. Hello, people of the internet, this is Shaky Jake, and I really need a catchphrase. You are watching Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on impossible difficulty, where previously on KotOR, we gathered enough prestige to impress Uthar with, so naturally we told him about it because we'd already got the prestige 2 episodes ago, but you know, we didn't tell Uthar about it till last time. And we got to carry out the final trial to become a Sith Lord in the eyes of Uthar, and we ended up killing him because we were helping Yavin IV take over the Sith Academy. However, she betrayed us, and in her betrayal we were able to redeem her back to the light side, and now she's headed off forever and we'll never see her again. And one thing I forgot to mention in the previous part is, yes, whilst that is true in my save, if you do Korriban as your first or second planet in the Starforge quest after Dantooine, you do actually get the opportunity to see Yavin IV redeemed on Dantooine. And I've never actually done that in any of my games whatsoever, because I've always played Korriban last, or in the very early playthroughs I played it as the third planet. But I've never actually seen that happen besides footage online. I've never personally experienced it, if anyone gets what I'm saying here. So, as you can see, I've got my classic blue and green lightsabers back because I'm finished with Korriban, mostly forever, apart from coming back later on to do the Brotherhood of Shadow mod, which we are getting very close to. The purpose of this part is to tie up any loose ends with regards to a couple of side quests, personal side quests for Juhani, and also we're going to look at returning this mysterious box to Tatooine. So we will do all of this in this part because I need to resolve the Ghetto Harridan stuff as well. So, Juhani, how do you feel about meeting up with the person who almost bought you many years ago?
My KotOR blood seethes at the thought of that man still running free. I cannot stand still while I think about it, but I will not give in to the dark side either. He will pay for his crimes, though. He will most likely be following us. Me. If we could find him first, then he may not be able to set in motion whatever he has in store for us.
Yep, she's pretty annoyed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will trigger Juhani's personal side quest whilst we're on the next planet, because, as I have explained before, Juhani's personal side quest is pretty buggy, but I do know how to trigger it at least. So, whilst we've set the first part up, we will hopefully go through the second part of the personal side quest during this episode. So, what we're going to do is travel to Manaan. No, that's a lie. No, we're not going to travel to Manaan first. We're going to travel to Kashyyyk. Now, what you'll notice is there's a new planet on here called the Starforge system. This unlocks the moment you've gathered every single star map. We could go here, but if we do that, we can't visit any of the other planets that we've been to, because this starts the end game. And we don't want to start the end game for a considerable amount of time because I've still got quite a lot of things to do. If I hadn't installed the Brotherhood of Shadow mod, this would be happening sooner rather than later. But again, I've downloaded more content for this game that I want to try out. So, what we're going to do is travel to Kashyyyk, and we need to do the last Ghetto Harridan assassination. So, off we go. As we're back on Kashyyyk, taking Mission and Zalbar with us makes the most sense, so let's level them up before we carry on. And whilst we're here, we're going to give Zalbar a slightly better sword, and we're going to give the Nagasado's Poison Blade, because I think it's actually the best sword we have on us right now. And whilst it would make sense for Canderous, I think giving it to Zalbar for the moment is perfectly acceptable. So let's do that. It's going to be a while before we get back down to the Shadowlands, so I will see you there. Come on, Zalbar, hurry up. Right, I forgot how annoying the Shadowlands were with regards to the tack sounds that occasionally play here. So this is where the final Genoharadan target is. So we're going to trigger that in a moment. And yeah, it's interesting how with the Genoharadan stuff, because I have the light side mod, which makes it so you can have light-sided alternatives to this quest, it actually makes this particular one slightly less annoying to deal with. So if we go to the Wookiee corpse, we find a data pad, which I can't remember what that says. Let's see if we can find it, because the issue with these data pads is the game doesn't really differentiate a lot of the names for them, so they usually just end up being datapad, which I believe it's this one. Okay, so this datapad appears to be a diary or record of some kind. The final entry is of particular interest. We were fools to come down here, all of us. How can we hope to capture an enemy that can assume any shape, any form? We lost 2 the first day. Another 3 disappeared the day after that. Our enemy's bloodlust knows no limits. We found Grawar's body last night, what was left of it. If we do not leave the Shadowlands soon, I fear we will all become victims of the Faceless One. Intriguing. So, let's see if we can find this shape-shifting person who can somehow take on random forms. Now, it's likely, yes, it's this person here. The person who's meant to be dead. How interesting. So, let's talk to them, shall we? I want to ask you some questions before I start making accusations. Well, the Shadowlands I've already, sorted out, so let's talk to you again. According to a datapad I found, Rawar is dead.
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, your tricks don't fool me, Rulan. So we've got Rulan pretending he's Canderous. Now, normally, I believe Rulan takes on the form of Jolie Bindu, which makes complete sense because Jolie lived here for quite a long time. I don't know if it's a mod-related change or if it's normally randomised, but I've seen Rulan take on the forms of Jolie, Canderous, and T3, at least based on a test I did earlier in the week where I was making sure this quest worked. And I think this is the first time I've seen Canderous, so I presume that Rulan just takes any form he feels like. So, let's stun the Pretender. Oh, good. That's nice. I preferred it when you were Canderous. Our mission's already dead. Wonderful. And then, as attack, Rulan runs off. And this is where it gets quite annoying, because normally in the vanilla game you're meant to kill Rulan as one of the tacks. Now keep in mind there are a lot of tacks in this area, and you could be here getting loads of dark side points that you don't actually want simply to find Rulan. Now with the light-sided mod that I have, this actually becomes slightly easier because I can pretend I've killed him. And I will demonstrate that in a moment. So if I talk to a random tack, for example, let's try one that isn't completely running away from us all the time. So, hey, come back. So let's try talking to you. Or is this not going to work? Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. This tack may be Rulan Prolic in disguise, but you can't tell for sure. Maybe if you kill it, it will revert to its true form, assuming it's Rulan. Ah, okay, this one we can't do, so it ain't this particular tack. Now we try a different one, because the game actually tells you which one it's meant to be. Now that one, it isn't, so what about this one? If it stops running away, that is. Right, this running away thing's really annoying, game. Come on. Looks like I'm going to have to master speed this. We found the tack, and it's right here. After a bit of running around, we finally caught up with it. And as a second attempt, that's not bad going. So, prepare to die, Rulan. And we got light side points for that, simply because it was a lie. And there we go. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually just killed a random tack and pretended we thought it was Rulan, so we gave him a chance to get away. But who cares? We've done what we need to do. So as far as I'm concerned, that's that part of the Genna Howard stuff done. And we're almost fully light-sided. I think one more light side point and we're pretty much fully there. However, that could easily change, because I could, in theory, take on a dark side choice whenever I feel like, and I may decide to do that, I'm not sure yet. But, whilst we're on the way back to the main part of Kashyyyk, I just feel like I'm in a random talking mood today. So, a couple of things I could discuss. I was watching a different Let's Play a couple of days ago. And it was an interesting Let's Play. It was fun to watch. The person doing the commentary was, interesting, funny, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes they had the oddest habits. So I'll go into that in a moment once I get back up to the surface. I'm not going to say who this person is to respect who they are and not make them a target or anything. Not that I can make people a target, because I'm not famous or anything. But this person had the oddest habits when it came to recording, and every so often they would burp during the middle of doing a recording. And once I can kind of understand, because you can't always control it, but this person, I swear, burped at least 3 times in a single video. And one of those 3 times did that person actually apologise for burping in the first place. And it was really bizarre, because I just couldn't believe how, they couldn't even edit that out. And it's really simple to edit out the stuff that you don't like in a recording. I do it all the time. There's plenty of stuff I've done in this Let's Play alone that hasn't made it to the final uploading stage, simply because A, it either isn't suitable, or B, it just doesn't work within the context of what I plan to do. And I just can't believe somebody thought, yeah, having every single burp in there is completely fine. And it's not anyone famous particularly, it's nobody who has a whole massive amount of subscribers, but it's insane to me how that person thought, yeah, that is perfectly acceptable to upload. So that's the first rant out of the way. And yeah, people are probably wondering, why am I going this way when the Ebon Hawk is a completely different way? Well, I think if I ever return to Kashyyyk normally in the game, it makes sense for me to take Zalbar back just briefly, just so he can say hi to his dad again. Because he probably hasn't seen his dad for a number of months at this point in the game. So let's go in the Chieftain's Hall. Oh, and there's still some remains here. That's actually quite amusing. Let's pick those up. I bet it's nothing amazing. Oh yeah, medpack and 6 credits. I really couldn't have gone without those. Right, Freya? And that's literally all I came here for. Just so Zalbar could say that line. I should be going. Bye. Right. If you want to know how that conversation actually went down, just watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. I'm sure that pretty much fulfills every single bit of Wookiee criteria you wanted. What else is there to talk about then? I suppose... Oh yeah, another video I ended up watching from a different person. I don't think they were a Let's Player necessarily, but they were a person who recorded gameplay footage. And one thing I should state is... I make these complaints about other people. I'm not doing it to be mean. I'm certainly not doing it because I think, oh, I'm the best person to record gameplay footage ever, because I'm clearly not. I have my moments where I could have edited something better, or the editing could have been a lot tighter, or my delivery could have been so much better than it ended up being. But these people, when I see them, and it does occasionally happen, I question their logic and, you know, thought process into how they end up delivering the final product as it appears. Because I know for a fact I'm not completely professional. My keyboard can be heard frantically in these videos simply because I have a mechanical keyboard, and I haven't bothered to try and stop it from being picked up, because my microphone has a pretty good amount of gain, because I simply need it to have a good amount of gain. And my chair, as annoying as it has been in the past, my chair, you can hear it creak every time I rock back, for example. And that's something that, yes, I should probably try to resolve, but at the same time, I don't think they're incredibly detrimental to the viewing experience. Certainly the mechanical keyboard, I think some people might actually like the mechanical keyboard being heard, because it adds a little bit more authenticity to it. But anyway, back to the point I was trying to make. So, this other person that I watched, they had a recording of a game, and they decided to do it the very old-fashioned way, not with recording software or even a capture card or anything like that. They recorded it with a camera, you know, a camcorder, and pointed it at a TV. And it was a CRT TV as well, because, you know, in the context of the game they were playing, it made sense, because it is a very old game by today's standards. But it was bizarre in 2018 to have a game being recorded on a camcorder with a TV is utterly bizarre to me. Yeah, 10 years ago I can see that still being a thing, and even up to about 2010, 2011 I can kind of buy it, but any time after that, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. And the quality was awful, and it was a 40-minute long video, and I couldn't understand anybody who would be able to sit through all that without getting at least a bit of eye strain. But anyway, Galaxy map. We're going to travel to Manaan. We've got to go back to Manaan to resolve the Genna Howard and stuff, because we need to tell our contact that we've done everything. So let's head there now. Ah, Manaan. It's good to be back. And as ever on this planet, I am not going to travel with party members for the moment, simply because every time you talk to the Genna Howard and point of contact, whose name I can't remember at this point, you always have to be alone. So that's why I haven't got any party members at the moment. So let's go to the point of contact and hope he's still around. And I think I found a schedule now where I can record Knights of the Old Republic without it feeling too interfering on what else I need to do, and I can edit it without it being too interfering on what I need to do as well. And I'm happy with where this Let's Play is going now. I'm in a position where I feel comfortable enough to get it done, because a couple of times I've had small hiatuses because of real life and various other things, but I'm happy with where this Let's Play is going now, and I'm happy with how the modding has gone with this as well. I haven't had too many problems. I had one minor bug, but that was easily resolved when I removed the files, and I'm going to patch them back in once I start the end game. And yeah, so here's our point of contact. So what's his name again? Hulas. How could I forget Hulas? Hello. How did you know that? Nah, to be fair, that doesn't surprise me that you know. So what happens now? Rulam Prolik is dead. And he believed it. Good. You tricked me. Glad I could help you out even after saying you tricked me. So, when do I get to join the guild? So that's it, we just part ways. No, I'm not accepting this. This isn't over, Hulas. Nobody plays me for a fool. Of course we have to travel all across the galaxy again to do this. Right, so we're going to start the next phase of the Genohowden stuff with Hulas, which you can, again, you have multiple ways you can approach the Genohowden quests, even as a light-sided person. You know, even if you didn't download the mod to have the light-sided alternatives, you could just end it there and let him carry on and rule the Genohowden on his own. But we're not going to do that because I feel it's in character for Revan to be angry at this. And that's one of the criticisms I actually have about both Knights of the Old Republic games, incidentally. Let's head back to the Ebon Hawk because I feel like walking and talking. So, one of the criticisms I have about both Knights of the Old Republic games, but it's more noticeable in the first one, it's all a little bit convenient in the sense that all of the party member side quests you have, they all take place on the planets that have been affected by the Starforge quest. So, for example, Karth's quest takes place on Korriban, Bastala's takes place on Tatooine, so does Missions, so does Canderas's, now the Genohowden as well. Jahani's takes place on either Manan or Korriban, depending on where you land. And Jolie's takes place on Manan. You know, there's a whole bunch of coincidences. Now, if this was a game made by modern standards, i.e. if it was developed in 2018 now, and I'm just getting some party members out because I need them. If this game was made today, I imagine that there'd be a lot more planets besides the main ones. So you'd have the Starforge planets that you'd have to go to for the main game, but then you'd also get all these other optional planets where some of the side quests could have taken place. Could you imagine if Bastala's side quest actually took place on Coruscant instead of Tatooine? Could you imagine it if Missions side quest took place somewhere else other than Tatooine? You know, I know why it happened, because of limitations and because there's only so much content a developer can make before it gets stretched and before some people go, couldn't it have just been placed on one planet, for example? But it does make the whole side questy thing feel a bit more limited. So it was a criticism I had in mind for a while now, but it's amazing how coincidental all of the side quests seem to be with regards to, oh, please make sure you go to this planet to see this person, or please make sure you go back to that planet to resolve this quest. If you didn't download the mod, like I did, for example, which gets rid of the random fighter ship combat that you get, that can get really irritating after a while. So, you know, it's just a minor criticism, but one I thought was valid. So, can we trigger Jahani's personal side quest? Because it doesn't seem to be triggering. Worst case scenario, what I can do is I can go back to the streets and then walk back, because that might actually force it to trigger. So we're going to try that now, because it didn't seem to work. So, yeah, it was just something I had in the back of my mind for the past few sessions, that, you know, all these side quests, realistically, they take place all across the galaxy, not just on the planets where the Starforge maps happen to be, simply because it doesn't make sense and it's too convenient. It's not as noticeable in the sequel, but there are still elements of it there. And again, it might just be down to writing as well. There's ways of doing it without making it seem obvious, and I know that is definitely a case with certain developers. Some of them are stronger at writing than others. So let's warp to the Ebon Hawk and see if this triggers. There we go, it has. Awesome. Hello, Zor.
There she is. Get her, men. But remember, don't kill her.
Well, that's, convenient, I guess. So, let's get everyone involved. Let's take the Salcaf out. And Juhani, I think it makes sense for you to focus on the person who caused you so much grief, whilst me and Jolie deal with them.
Not this again!
It was a Jedi can do. It was a Jedi can do.
And that was very quick. Is he not going to talk to him? Okay. So, let's talk to him now. Game. Are you going to... Game? Why are you not triggering this game? Okay, this is a bit of a bug. Let's try this again.
It was a Jedi can do.
You seem to have defeated me, there, worm. But I'll have the last laugh in the end.
What do you mean?
Man, you turned around really quickly, Juhani, considering you weren't looking at him a minute ago. But at least it triggered the second time round. I think that was just a minor bug with the scripting there. Yes, what do you mean, Zor?
You may have killed me today, but I had the pleasure of killing off your species. Not everyone who fought alongside the Mandalorians did it for their stupid concept of honor. Some of us just did it for the pleasure. The pleasure of seeing your world burn.
You animal! You wretch!
But I'm beyond your petty vengeance now, girl. You can never have your revenge.
You could kill him now.
No, I cannot give in to my anger. I will not give him the satisfaction of making me that way.
Worm, I killed your people on KotOR in the sky. On the ground, in their homes. I hunted them down like the animals they were, just to see them burn. But the treacherous beasts fought back and left me with injuries that meant I could never fight again. So they thought.
This isn't going to work.
No, I will not give in to him.
I ended up in the lower city of Taris, and what did I find? A few of those stinking beasts living there. The male was easy enough to best, but the females proved elusive. I didn't know what happened to them after I killed the male. Until I saw this cursed woman on the auction block. But then the Jedi came and ruined everything before I could have my revenge.
You killed my father. You killed my people. You treat us like animals. You deserve to die.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Give in and embrace your hate. You are no better than me. You are nothing.
See, I'm not sure if that "stop feeling sorry for yourself" line is aimed at Zor or Juhani, because it actually is kind of aimed at both of them. Juhani is somebody I desperately want to take my advice with that. So we've got a choice. We can make Juhani embrace the dark side slightly again with the kill him now option, or we can be passive and say, do not do it, Juhani, it's not worth it. And that's the option we're going to go for. Do not do it, Juhani.
Help me, please. Do not let me give in to my anger again.
Just step away.
Your kind always were weak-minded.
No, I will not do this. He may die, but it will not be out of my vengeance.
You coward. You weak.
And that's it. Zor is dead. That was a really nice death scream. Do you have any remains? Yes, you do. Wow, you only came with 2 advanced med packs? Seriously? That was all you had on you? Didn't even have like a gun? Or, anything to give us? Well, okay. You were very useless, Zor. No wonder you died. And that is everybody's personal side quest in this game done. Let's go back to the Ebon Hawk. Let's double check this. So, Mission's personal side quest was done on Tatooine with her brother Griff, so that's all resolved. Candace's personal side quest was done on Tatooine as well with Jargi, and that's resolved. HK-47 doesn't have a side quest necessarily because he's tied into our character, so he's all done because his side quest was mainly just repair him enough. Jolie's was linked to Sunry's murder case, and that's resolved. T3 doesn't have a side quest because he's not really a defined character in the first game. Zalbar's side quest is forced because of Kashyyyk, so he's all done. Jahani's is now done. Bastula's was done ages ago. And Kaf was done on Caravan only recently. So yeah, all of the party members' side quests are now done. So what we're going to do is head to Tatooine. And I know we could go to Yavin as well, and I am debating it, but we'll see about that for now. We might do that later on, because I think selling everything before I go to the Starforge system in a later part makes more sense. So what we're going to do is head to Tatooine, and I'm going to edit in the mysterious box stuff because it makes sense to on the way to Tatooine. And whilst we're travelling in space, although the first game never allows that option, we're going to do this mysterious box stuff that, you know, we were given on Caravan. We were told not to open this box, and we weren't told why specifically, but we were told not to open the box. So naturally we're going to open the box. But let's see if I can find the side quest related to this. So, let's see. It's a bit of a shame that Mandalorian weapons cache isn't resolved, but that's not a problem. Let's see what else there is. And yeah, here we go. Unfinished business. Upon turning over the spice to Lurs, he offered you further employment. Take a strange box to Mott the Hut at the Swoop Track on Tatooine. However, Lurs warned you not to open the box, though he was not clear on why or what might be inside. So, I'm getting flashbacks to the whole, a boat's a boat, but a mystery box could be anything. Could even be a boat. Do you wish to open the box? Yes, we do. I'm sure it can't be too harmful. Let's just see what happens. Oh, hello. Okay. That was actually quite dangerous. We're in a white void. This does not look very pretty and could actually damage your eyes if you stared at this for long enough, I think. But one thing I do like about this part of the game is I really love the soundtrack that plays. Just listen. So let's try and run away a moment, because one thing that's quite interesting about this is you could run for absolutely ever, but I'm pretty sure the game eventually caps out and says, yeah, so as you can see, I'm just running into an invisible wall at the moment. But it does simulate this idea of an empty void very well, in spite of the limitations of the engine. So let's go over here, because this is our only point we can go to at the moment. But as I said, really love the soundtrack here. It's very mournful. It's very much sadness behind it. Let's see what's actually going on. And if you look at the map as well, it's apparently a prison with nothing but strange obelisks, and it's just a white void. So let's see what's actually going on here. But at least there's a bed. That's good. I like the fact there's a bed here.
Kawana bota ita tagwa. Kanki dora to kun wa tamel ita bola. Tonghai wam chichi yumalita ag inkoktu. Tolpa da bongwalia gando denara chochot. Kachicho ita audonga. Yumalita inkoktu. Jelomoran benu bobo. Wango kumbis kangba molera. Tabis yo bong konki pankpa. Chimpala cheska mule.
Mostly water. I like that line. And opposable digits. Opposable digits and mostly water. I definitely like those lines. I'll have to do for what?
Kama volve molche kumana. King kun shaking, ne ken kun no mulara jikon. Wama kumbes, chimpala mule tunera la pruta. Donke serche doma toma. Jashak bogra onwa cheska nechu. Achuba cheska wanki. Te toki grato.
See, that actually sounds really horrific. I'd rather have death than that. Because at least death would be a release. This is just pretty horrific. Okay, pay very close attention to this, because if he states he's not very good at numbers, that's going to basically be a hint for what you have to do here. So, this is a prison.
Yin kin kuno ba mulira chikon. Slimo potona. Ronde aldonka kuonka bi.
You said 3 in a row earlier. Have there been others besides me here?
Tabis yo bon konki pankpa. Chimpala cheska mule. Tone rana no takon jostak miki grabel mogo.
No, there's invisible walls. I can't go that far.
Kachicho ita hotonga. Yin kin kuno ba mulira chikon.
Is there no way out of here? Although, before I ask that, what did you do to get imprisoned here? And this is really tragic, because you can tell this person feels regret for the crimes they committed. And I always feel guilty with this side quest for reasons I will go into in a bit. Is there no way out of here? And the idea of being stuck in a mind prison where all you have is your mind and no physical body is actually really terrifying. It's some of BioWare's best writing in this game. And I never even knew this side quest existed for at least 7 playthroughs, from what I can remember. Out? Out to where? If you get out of here, your body's probably dead. I've only just noticed as well that the developers of BioWare actually animated this alien species' eyes very well, and that's actually really subtle. How do I know you aren't lying to me? And yeah, I'm not skipping this dialogue because this is the first time we've ever encountered this alien species. Oh no, humanity definitely doesn't have 1,000 years in it. How do I know I can trust you? It only takes once. You have a point. This sounds deceptively simple. Now, if I was in a situation like this, I would not be as calm as this. I would actually be shouting and demanding to be released. Basically, I'd be doing option number 3, because it is actually really terrifying when you think about it too hard. What kind of competition do you mean then?
Ronde Aldonka Kuongabi. Kuyami just chicken napatoga yapulke kokola jeje.
Ah, a game of the mind in a mind prison. That's actually quite smart. Never noticed that before. And riddles are not something I'm amazing at. And the only riddle I actually know very well is what gets wetter as it dries. That's pretty much the only riddle I can actually confidently answer. I'd rather a more physical challenge. That's clearly a bit of a cheaty option. And what's to stop you from cheating? Nothing. I could just look up the answers online right now. But I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to see if I can actually remember the answers. Try and think of it through logically. What are the rules?
Tonerana no prata donka serce doma wana kombes toma. Ne shakshi lorcha kimku no ba mulere raji kun, kachicho ita hotonga. Yin kinku no ba mulira chikun. Slimo putuna. Ronde aldonka kuonga bi.
I've always wondered this. What if somebody came across my body in the Ebon Hawk whilst all this was going on? Surely they'd be panicking. But again, I don't get the impression the crew of the Ebon Hawk actually care, because they never venture beyond their rooms. But what if they did actually find my body during this? I'm assuming it's just stood there frozen, doing nothing, or it's collapsed or whatever, but who knows. I don't seem to have much of a choice. Well, I can't really blame you there. You would have a lot to think about whilst you were sitting here. Technically, you're home. Yeah, that's true. I do like that you've got a bed in the corner. Until I am measured, I am not known. Yet how you miss me when I have flown. Oh, okay. Until I am measured, I am not known. Yet how you miss me when I have flown. I don't think it's light because most people don't mind it when light goes. Hope is an answer that could be considered an option because some people do lose hope and then they wish it was back. Energy, I doubt. So time, because time passes and people regret the times they missed out on, and they also, they wish they could have had more time. I know I definitely missed some of my past time, so we're going to go with time. Option number 2, time. Oh, don't use excuses now. Do not use excuses. Okay, so the way the game works is every second turn we get to give him a riddle. It doesn't really matter what we pick at the moment, so we're just going to... Oh, let's see which one. What sounds more like something my character would say? Yeah, we'll go with 2 again. What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than the trees. Up, up it goes, and yet it never grows.
Chunyon tun Gigi itetuana. Cabe volpe molche comana, Ajunta. Wanga kumbis dolpe kikunyana. Don patogas mactelia. Conticha nai.
I never was, yet always will be. I am never seen, yet always come. I can carry nothing, yet hold much for some. Oh, okay. Right, I never was, yet always will be. I am never seen, yet always come. I can carry nothing, yet hold much for some. I'm glad these multiple choice options are here, because I would not be able to do these riddles in real life. Gravity's a pretty good suggestion, because you can't see gravity particularly. Like, you can see it exists, but you can't actually see gravity. Rain, I don't think it is. Vacuum, again, could be linked to gravity, but I think it's tomorrow, on the basis of tomorrow always happens regardless. So we're going to go with option number 1, tomorrow. Oh good, I got it right. I was worried it was going to be gravity for a bit. So we get another turn. Let's see. I get both options again. We'll go with the first option this time. If you break me, I do not stop working. If you touch me, I may be snared. If you lose me, nothing will matter.
Kuyami just chicken na patoga ya pulke kokola jeje. Kawana bota ita tagua. Kanki dora to kun wata mel ita bola. Ajunta.
Did he just say Ebola? I think he just said that. Who makes it has no need of it. Who buys it has no use for it. Who uses it has no knowledge of it. Oh, okay. Who makes it has no need of it. Who buys it has no use for it. Who uses it has no knowledge of it. Oh, dear. I'm actually slightly stumped. I don't think it's air, and I don't think it's energy. It's either time or a grave. Now, I'm leaning towards a grave simply because who makes it has no need of it because it's being made for somebody else. Who buys it has no use for it because you can't really use a grave. And who uses it has no knowledge of it. Oh, it's between time or a grave. You can't make time. You can't buy time. Or you can, but it doesn't do much for you. Who uses it has no knowledge of it. I can't decide between time or a grave. I'm going to go for number 4, a grave, and hope that's the correct answer. If not, I can always show you what happens if you get something wrong. Oh, good. Okay, I got it right. Basically what happens if you get any of these riddles wrong, he disappears from the game and you get killed within the mine prison and it just gives you a game over. So it's nothing too special, but it is a slightly creepy ending in the sense that the camera fades away from you very slowly in a bird's eye view, so it slowly goes up and up and up and up and up, and then eventually the game over screen appears. And now if you want to just get out of here really quickly, if you just give him option number 2, you can basically stump him and win the game. But I'm going to do all of the riddles that I can just because it makes sense to. You heard me before, yet you hear me again. Then I die until you call me again. I'm not sure how many extra options there are. I think there's only like 1 or 2 extra before the game just runs out of dialogue choices. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I lick will soon turn red. Okay, it's definitely not a Gazika, because that sounds too much like a false answer. A flame, a starship engine, a mouth. I want to say a mouth, but I'm not sure. Oh, God. It's definitely not a Gazika. I don't think it's a flame. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I lick will soon turn red. Or maybe it is a flame. Basically, it's definitely not option number 1. I know that much for a fact. So... oh, nuts. This is actually the hardest one. Maybe I regret actually taking this one. And... yeah, it's definitely not a Gazika. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I lick will soon turn red. I must always be fed. Maybe it is a flame, because a flame does need to be lit up and it does need to be kept on in order for it to turn things red. I'm going to go for a flame and hope it's that. Otherwise it's going to be options 3 or 4. This is such a weird game to play, by the way, to escape a mind prison. It doesn't make any sense to me. We're going to keep going, even though that one almost stumped us. You can see nothing else when you look in my face. I will look you in the eye, and I will never lie.
Ekratok haku jijiya. Wata yumaka wama hohanek. Latin ongodo neba.
Oh, okay, he doesn't know. I thought...
Dopa yuma pesun joy she to kola wish.
On the plus side, it feels a bit nicer beating him this way than just giving him the obvious one he wouldn't know. Because if you give him the Flying to Dancerine one, he really struggles with numbers and he acknowledges that. So, the answer is your reflection.
Jashak bogra olwa cheskat nekchu. Achuba cheska wanki. Te toki grato kontika kon ken kachong pro. Bogra walia na bongsha. Neksha jonsha chuba ken lorda itakun.
Let's have a look. So, before I go, what's your name?
Tonga bongsha uneno. Wanga kun biske. Bamulera. Chunyon tun jiji.
Oh, that is tragic. Yeah, that is depressing. I'd hate to forget my own name. That is genuinely depressing. I could try to find some other way to get you out of here. So his people, just to give you a bit of an idea, they were a species developed by BioWare, I believe. I don't think they actually appeared in any other Star Wars media before this, but they're the Rakators, or the Rakatans. And they're a very interesting species. This is basically foreshadowing for the endgame, because this species will come up quite frequently on the next planet that we go to in the main quest. But we're not going to see him for a while. Oh yeah, your people are still around, they're just not, you know, that well known. I could destroy your prison once I'm out, if you wish, because I don't think you want to be in here for much longer, surely. Now I reckon it's probably because of the engine, but aren't we not just bitty atoms inside this mine prison anyway? I'm sure that the only reason we have physical bodies right now is because of engine limitations, and also because it's easier for the player to identify with what's going on. Don't worry, I'm sure someone else will be along before you know it. I'm ready to go. And there we go. That's the mysterious box side quest done. And off we go, back to the Ebon Hawk, hopefully. And hopefully we don't end up in somebody else's body. Oh look, here we are, back in the Ebon Hawk. We're perfectly fine. Did anybody check on my body whilst I was gone? No? My crew are really the most uncaring set of people I've ever travelled with. If we try and interact with the mysterious box again, it basically states we can't use it anymore. Presumably it's so we can't, you know, exploit it or anything, or end up getting trapped again. So let's go, and let's quickly change clothes, because we're on Tatooine. We should blend in with the local populace again. And before we return the mysterious box to Mata the Hutt, I want to do the Geno Haradan stuff first, so let's do that. We've got HK and Canderous with us, so once I've levelled them up, we will head to the Dune Sea. And here we go. The Geno Haradan side quest gets resolved here. I don't know who this Jane Khan is, but interestingly, one of the mods I downloaded restored Seni Vec to this confrontation. And here's Hulas. So we're surrounded by quite a lot of Geno Haradan, actually, including some Mandalorians. So let's see what's going on here, shall we? Hello. I see you've brought some friends as well, Hulas. Three Geno Haradan overseers out of 4 are dead, Hulas. Time to finish the job. Let us end this then.
Ajunta.
Ah, and this is part of the mod that I downloaded with the Lightsaber version. Anyway, this is almost epic. Well, more epic than in the vanilla game. So I've got a choice. I can either let them take Hulas away and sort him out, or I could just betray them all here. Now, both of these options are valid for my character, and I'm debating to kill them all on the basis that I can get extra loot and extra gear that might actually be useful. The issue is I'm going to take a massive dark side hit, and I don't particularly want to do that. So I'm going to be a little bit... I'm going to be, you know, slightly... Oh, do I know? Do I want to take the dark side hit? Because I know there's a little bit of good gear around for this. When in doubt, heads or tails. If it's heads, we'll do a two-face on this. If it's heads, I let the Geno Howardin deal with Hulas. If it's tails, I'm going to kill them all. It's heads, so the Geno Howardin, you can deal with Hulas. That's right, Hulas. Now I'm going to let them take care of you.
Ajunta. Yun patisa. Kinba chalora kun. Just crunky to patslimo.
Good. You shouldn't have used me like that, Hulas. You should have known that Revan would never be forgiving. And there we go. We got light side points. Everybody disappears. And we're all sorted. Are we fully light side now? Oh, we're so close. Okay, the next light side point we get will definitely be at the highest possible point. So, even though it looks like it's really high, you know when it's high simply because it tells you you've got plus extra in one of the attributes depending on what class you are. So, let's switch our party members out and go and give the box to Motta. In order to give the mysterious box away, you have to go to the Swoop registration area. Here's Motta the Hutt. Let's talk to him. I have a box for you, sent by Lurs. I did. It was very interesting. I expect a little more for transporting dangerous goods. Oh yeah, awesome. Haha. Thank you. High persuade. Love that. Well, if I ever see Lurs again, I'm sure I will. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I actually have a little headcanon when it comes to this mysterious box. And I reckon Motta the Hutt would actually open it. And then he'd end up in the mine prison. He'd end up talking to the Rakatan that we met inside the prison. And then he would lose the game of riddles. And the Rakatan would end up being inside the body of a Hutt for the rest of his life. But he would at least be free from the mine prison, and then Motta the Hutt would be stuck in there. I don't know if I'm the only person sad enough to come up with this backstory or this theory, but that's my headcanon for how this quest would eventually end. So, now that we've done that, I'm going to end it there for now, because we've done quite a significant amount of stuff in this part. We destroyed, well, we ended stuff with the Geno Howardin. We opened the mysterious box and delivered it, and we also resolved Juhani's personal side quest. Next time we're going to start a new set of quests that I have never played before and I've never downloaded before, and it will be a complete blind playthrough when I play through it. So hopefully you're looking forward to seeing me actually struggle to deal with new content in this game for a change, as opposed to knowing what I'm doing. And why is my character model just permanently frozen? Can I... Yeah, he's just permanently frozen. Look at that. Right, let's try that again. Oh, good, he's moving again. So that's a little bit more natural. Stop. Don't scare me like that, you know, my character. So, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.